Welcome to the book of Shmuel Bet, chapter 6. The kingdom of David has already been established in the city of Jerusalem. It's going to be the new capital city of all the people of Israel. We already saw that the elders of all of Israel came to accept David HaMelech as their king. And what do you need now? What's missing in order to make Jerusalem the capital city of all of Bnei Israel? What you needed is to be also the spiritual center of where Bnei Israel are at. And so David HaMelech now needs to bring the Ark of the Covenant, the Aron HaBrit, the heart and soul of the Jewish people, to Jerusalem. Do you remember where that is? Extra points if you do, because it's way back in the book of Shmuel Aleph. In the book of Shmuel Aleph, after the destruction of Mishkan Shiloh, after it was among the Plishtim, it finally finds a place of rest in the house of Avinadav among the tribe of Yehudah, and it basically is sitting there in someone's backyard pretty much. So David recruits 30,000 new soldiers, and then he goes with everyone to the people of Yehudah, to the house of Avinadav in the Giv'ah, and he says, okay, guys, I know you've had an amazing time. I know you've been very good to the Ark of the Covenant. You've taken Aron Hashem and taken care of it. Now is the time to bring it to Jerusalem. And so they bring it up. They put it on a brand new wagon, Galah Chadasha. And there's a person named Uzzah and Achio, the sons of Avinadav, and they help lead the new wagon that has the Ark of the Covenant, the Aron Hashem, towards Jerusalem. They leave the house of Avinadav in the Giv'ah, and Achio is walking ahead of the wagon, and Uzzah is behind it. And everyone is singing, and it's a great... You ever see those videos of the Achnasa Sefer Torah? Maybe you were there yourself. So basically, there's musical instruments, there's violins, shakers, bells, everything, you name it. Everyone's very excited for the ark to be coming. However, what happens is they come to a place near Gor and Nachon, and the wagon moves a bit so that the Ark of the Covenant looks like it's about to fall. Who is allowed to carry the Ark of the Covenant, the Aron Hashem? Remember from way back in the book of Shemot, the only people who can carry the Ark are the Levim. So the Ark then is about to fall, and Uzzah puts his hand up to hold on to the Ark so it shouldn't fall, and Hashem strikes him to death on the spot. Why? Because he is from the tribe of Yehudah. He's not allowed to hold the ark. And imagine that. There's all the musical instruments out, and everyone's happy and celebrating, and there's 5 different types of musical instruments listed, and then someone dies. Very big tragedy in the middle of something so happy. And so it says that David is very, very, very sad, and David gets so angry, and it says he's so sad, he calls that place Peretz Uzzah, because Uzzah was killed. Peretz means it was pierced. We've seen that before. And so he calls it Peretz Uzzah because Hashem is the one who pierced Uzzah, even though Uzzah meant well. If you remember, though, we also had a Peretz beforehand, I believe, in the last Perek. We had in Baal Pratzim, and he names it Baal Pratzim, the place where he defeats the Egyptians, the Plishtim, not to mention the fact that Peretz, the son of Yehuda, is also an ancestor of David. So here we have Peretz Uzzah for Hashem piercing Uzzah. Next, David says, wait a minute. How can I now bring the Aron Hashem, the Ark of Hashem? Look what happened to Uzzah. All he did was lift his hand to get the Aron, and he got killed. So you know what? I'm not going to bring the Aron to my house because I don't want something like that to happen to me. So he sends it to the house of Oved Edom Hagiti. Oved Edom Hagiti, to his house. And it sits there for 3 months, and Oved Edom Hagiti becomes very wealthy as long as the ark is with him. So David hears this, and he says, look, Oved Edom Hagiti has been blessed. He has so much because the ark is with him. And so David is like, you know what? I want to have some part of that success. And he goes and he brings it to himself. And they do another great celebration, and David brings many korbanot, sacrifices with every few steps. They slaughter another ox, and there's a great amount of joy. And it says that David himself dances vigorously in front of the Aron, like you would see maybe someone doing on Simchas Torah. And everyone's very, very, very excited, except for one person, Michal bat Shaul. Michal, the daughter of Shaul, the wife, one of the wives of David, looks from the window, and she sees her husband, who should be the king of Israel, dancing like he's at some kind of Achnasa Sefer Torah or Simchas Torah, and she sees it, and she's like, it says very strong language, Vativiz lo beliba. She has scorn for him. She sees her husband dancing, and she's like, that's not the royal way. That's not the way to go. And she's just disgusted by this kind of behavior. She looks down on him. Anyhow, they bring it to the Ark of Hashem. They bring it to a tent that David has prepared. David gives every person of Bnei Israel then it says a challah, a piece of bread, and one piece of meat, and good food. Every Jew that comes to celebrate gets this delicious food, and he comes home and he wants to bless anyone, and Michal comes to him and she starts burning him, not literally, but she's like, oh, great, today we had the king of Israel dance around like some kind of buffoon. She really doesn't like that. And then David comes back with an immediate burn, which is pretty brutal. And he says, yeah, you know who I am? I'm the one who Hashem has chosen over your father. And there's a lot of depth to this. It's not just a burn like, oh, your father's no longer a king and I am. One of the reasons Shaul is unchosen is because he's too concerned with his public image. Remember, he didn't kill Amalek because of pressure from the people. And so David is saying, look, your father was unchosen because he prioritized his public image and things that he worried about his own image over what Hashem said, whereas I am dancing like a regular guy in front of the Aron Hashem because I really care and I'm passionate for Hashem. And he says, I don't even care if I'm with the slaves and the maidservants as long as it's to honor Hashem. It's very hard to tell, but it seems like there is a connection because the last pasuk says, Michal bat Shaul never had a child to the day of her death. It seems like that sounds like a punishment for her scorn at David, for her saying, oh, David, you're just not royal for dancing like that in front of the Aron. So what did we have here in Perek Vav? We had David recruiting 30,000 people, deciding he's going to go bring the Ark of Hashem from Beit Avinadav that's on the mountain. He goes with Uzzah and Achio, the sons of Avinadav. They go, and there's a huge amount of music. The ark almost falls. Uzzah puts his hand to make sure it doesn't fall. Uzzah dies with the anger of Hashem there, and David names the place Peretz Uzzah. Then David names that place Peretz Uzzah and puts the Aron in a different place. He's worried about his well-being, and he puts it in Beit Oved Edom Agiti. God blesses it, Oved Edom Agiti. And then David says, okay, I'm going to bring this back to Jerusalem. He makes a tent. He has a great celebration, tons and tons of food. Everyone gets food. And finally, David dances with great enthusiasm in front of the Aron, and Michal sees it, and she's like, this is not royal behavior. And David shoots right back at her, and he says, oh yeah, well, Hashem has chosen me over your father. Sadly, Michal bat Shaul did not have any children until the day she died.